Here on Digging Deep, we believe healing requires going beneath the surface. This podcast is a safe place for anyone in recovery, no matter your background, your path, or where you are in your journey. We talk about real issues, real struggles, real victories, and the God who restores everything that was broken. Each episode will share our stories, invite guests, dig into scripture, talk about relapse, prevention, identity, motherhood, relationships, re-entry, and even spiritual growth, and everything in between. Nothing is off limits. Nothing is too messy because we lived it.
Digging Deep podcast is based on our personal stories and recovery experiences. We are not licensed counselors, therapists, or medical professionals. Nothing shared here is professional advice. If you need help, please reach out to a qualified professional. You can do this at 988 for immediate crisis support or at the SAMHSA nationwide helpline at 1-800-662-HELP for substance abuse and recovery support.
Welcome to Digging Deep, the podcast where we get real, honest, and we get free. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Tasha. We're super excited about everyone joining us here today. And what we'd like to do is allow y'all to get to know us. And so by that, we're going to be sharing our testimonies.
Yeah, I feel like for y'all to be intentional and be able to know us better, they got to know who we are and where we came from.
Mm-hmm.
And this podcast is about recovery basis. I'm a recovering addict, and so are you.
Also, I am. This past Saturday was my 8 years
Woo woo.
free.
Woo woo. Yeah.
Kayla, would you like to get the party started?
Yeah. So, like I said, my name's Kayla. I'm a recovering addict. I grew up in a lot of sexual abuse. I ended up being in a lot of relationships that were not healthy, a lot of abuse, a lot of domestic violence. I actually remember my middle child's dad beating me so bad to the point where I would urinate on myself. He choked me so bad one time that I couldn't lift my head out of bed for I think like 3 days. I went through a lot of trauma as a teenager. I went to my first mental hospital, not mine. I went to a mental hospital for the first time when I was 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was cutting my wrist from this point all the way up. Like I still kind of have scars from it. And I would say that mental hospital was actually really good for me. I could really admit that my parents made a really good choice when they put me in there.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, I was in addiction. I ended up started stripping to support my habit. Stripping was like a whole new avenue for me. It created a monster of vanity.
Mm-hmm.
I got my high off of what I could get out of men. I got my high off of quick money and how to make that quick money. It led me to getting, I think we got 9 indictments. 4 of them were sealed indictments. I was in jail for 2 years. In the middle, I was out for a month, but went right back because I ended up violating. So all together with the month in between, I was in jail for 2 years. I pled out to 2 felonies, and I will say that was like the first time I heard the Lord's voice for the first time. And that was the first time when I really knew about the relationship aspect of it. I was in and out of church, and when I got out of jail, I went to church, and the first church that I really felt the presence of God was Centerpoint, which was called T-Palm back in the day. But I just remember watching those women at the altar, and they would radically worship. And it wasn't like a minor worship. It was like they're going to war. worship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember like their long hair and like it twisting like in like a helicopter.
Just wave your head like
I'm
a
pretty
helicopter.
sure it might have been Jenny's hair that was twisting. But that was the very first time I understood the power of worship, and that kept me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for a long time that discernment and that power of worship is what kept me alive.
Yep.
But to kind of jump forward, I was in and out of church, and I'm just going to jump straight into like when it got really bad, because I was just in and out of jail. I had all my kids taken from me, and which I had my kids taken from me when I went to jail, but I had even my youngest taken from me, and I was shooting a gram of heroin a day and was mixing it. I was doing hot shots and was living with drug dealers that were probably one of the biggest drug dealers around at that point in Nashville. And when I came to the realization that I needed help and I wasn't okay, like when I came out of it, I got held in a cabin for hours at gunpoint. We were barricaded in this cabin with doors underneath, and this guy was so out of his mind high. He was going to kill my friend, and I kept stepping in front of the gun because the anger wasn't towards me, it was towards her. So I kept stepping in front of the gun, and it was a miracle how we got out. He just, I'm not playing, he just snapped out of it. It was like the Lord like just allowed him to snap out of it, and he let us go. And when he let us go, I was trying to get out of his truck, and he fishtailed the truck. And at the last second, because you know when you fishtail a truck, you pop it off and you speed off. Mm-hmm. At the very last second, my foot was caught in the seatbelt when he did that fishtail, and my foot released right when he popped off. So if he would have drugged me, if I didn't get my foot unstuck. But in that moment, I knew that I wasn't okay. Like I was like, okay, I'm not okay. And it was like life and death every single day. And it was so beautiful. I ended up going to this women's conference, and she talked about how she was, tortured, and how the Lord froze this man that was choking her a robbery. And that's exactly what happened to me right before I came to Blue Monarch. I got trapped in a prostitution ring. And I went into the prostitution ring willingly, but I didn't get stuck willingly. These girls were wanting me to take pictures to sell on the internet. And for just a moment of clarity, I was like, I'm not going to sell these pictures. And the two girls ran up on me, about to jump me. And when they ran up on me, they just froze, like just completely froze. Like it was like a matrix or something. Mm-hmm. And I was like, so I just kind of slipped in between them, went between them, walked out the door. They're still froze, just like staring, froze. And I walked downstairs, and there was some random guy, and he said, hey, you need a ride? Right when I walked down. So when I walked downstairs, I got into the car with that guy, and I had my phone, and it was on Wi-Fi. I was only using it for Wi-Fi. I got to his house. I plugged up for Wi-Fi. Right when I plugged it up, Blue Monarch called. And when Blue Monarch called, Jenny said, you made it. You got it.
Can you just tell our viewers what Blue Monarch is?
So Blue Monarch is a program for women and children to really, it's a discipleship program to be free of the trauma and tribulations and all the things that life has hit them. For me, it was just such a safety net. They offer so many beautiful classes and counseling sessions and things that you can, and even the land, Miss Susan posted something today, and Miss Susan's the owner, and she was just talking about how Blue Monarch sits on these 108 acres to be exact, and how the land healed me as much as and Jesus is the creator of all. So that land through Jesus healed me. just as much as every class,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So it was just a beautiful opportunity. Do you want to add anything?
Yeah. So me and Kayla was there somewhat the same time, but it was after that I did my residential and transitional time. I had the blessing of just walking alongside Kayla
Yes.
through her healing journey, and it's just a beautiful thing. For me, in the beginning, it was a landing pad. I had to be at a place that was different than my home,
Mm-hmm.
my hometown. And when I moved 3 hours away, it was just far, far enough for me not to tap when things got hard.
Yeah.
Wasn't nobody coming and getting me anyways. But one thing that I thought was so beneficial, it is a Christ-based program.
Yes.
That the Lord is intertwined through all the
Every
classes.
bit.
And it is such a program that is Holy Spirit led.
Yep.
The staff prays, they worship alongside the residents, and we are put in a place that a lot of us has never had before.
Yep.
Some of us might have lost it, and it's on that beautiful land in a beautiful home that we get to be there with our children and go through the healing process. And I had to be stripped from the world and set apart for quite a bit of time.
Yep.
It's an 18 to 22 month program now, but back then when I was there, it was more like a 12-month. But I refer to my journey like chili. So sometimes you got to let things cook overnight for it to taste a little bit, So what should have been a 12 or 18-month program, mine was 23 months.
Yeah.
And that's because I was stubborn, and a lot of things that the Lord, what he started, he will bring to completion.
I really didn't get set back. I was pretty much a good girl other than
you was
some of the moments.
And you are.
Yeah. Also, I want to highlight that Blue Monarch concentrates on the kids' recovery just as much as the women.
Mm-hmm.
So every aspect of the healing that my kids got was because the healing that I received through Blue Monarch, and they concentrate on the kids.
Yep. And it's like the only one. I've been to multiple rehabs.
Yeah.
Put in applications to other ones. There's only a few that will allow that process to go on with your children.
Yes, it was a beautiful process.
But it is set apart now. This world, there's not one like it.
Yep. Really, just to wrap up my testimony, I made it to Blue Monarch. I walked in December 18th to a annual Blue Monarch Christmas, and if you've ever witnessed Blue Monarch's Christmas, it's something magical and powerful. And when I walked in, I heard the Lord say to me, and I could get emotional, but he said to me, you made it. You made it. So we'll catch up later what I'm doing now. But
also, I got one question. If off of the back of your testimony, if there's one thing that you could tell one of our viewers that are struggling with addiction, that is in the full storm of it, what would you say to them?
Do not give up. Do not give up. There was many times where I just wanted to give up. There was always that speck of hope in me, which I'm so grateful for. And I think the other thing is being vulnerable. Finding someone, a safe person that you can be vulnerable with.
And ask for that help.
Yep, and ask for that help, being vulnerable.
Because, boy, I don't know about you, but back then I needed some help.
Yeah, and I was so prideful. And pride was a mask that I created for myself, because pride, I feel like, is secondary. So the pride was a mask because I was so hurt underneath. So I operated in a lot of pride, and the pride prevented me from asking for help, unless it was out of manipulation.
Right.
But authentic, real help of looking at someone and saying, I'm so broken. But the psalmist says, I desire a broken and contrite heart,
Mm-hmm.
because that brokenness, that complete brokenness, can create the most beautiful, beautiful art piece that the Lord created.
And that's one of my favorite verses.
Me too.
When it talks about a contrite heart. And I looked it up one day, and that means to be grounded down to powder. And just to piggyback off what you were saying, like, I know when I was going through it, that pride for me, which I know it's the same thing, when I tried to suppress hurt and pain, it puffed me up.
Yes, it's a protective mechanism.
It puffed me up. So, and just to tell you a little bit about my story, I'm originally from East Tennessee, Marshtown area, and my mom and dad was together growing up. But I remember around about the age of 5 that I really started seeing what was going on in my home. And at first it was play fighting. And the more that they did it in front of me, the more it just became an everyday thing. So with my dad, he struggled with super aggression. He was physical with my mom. He would beat her every day, from the mashed potatoes being runny, from me and my sister coming in, and if we was too happy and he had a hard day at work, that would be
it was
huge,
too much for him.
Yeah. And it was a huge possibility that he would end up hurting mom.
Yeah, your mom.
So out of that came a whole bunch of trauma. And I remember on my 9th birthday, instead of waking up to a birthday cake and happy birthday, I woke up to my mama coming in the room and her face covered with blood, and she begged me. She said, if he hits me again, call 911. And as soon as she said that, he jerked her out of the room. So I called 911 on my father, and when they got there, it was back in the 90s. Like, I feel like domestic violence was a thing that was more accepted than charges being pressed. So I just knew I was going to be safe. The police is here. Well, my dad went out and talked to him, and when he came back in, I couldn't believe it, right? Because she was covered in blood. And my mama told me, my mama told the police officers that they was just play fighting. So that hurt me. And then when he came back in and wasn't arrested, he hawked a loogie in my face and said I wasn't his daughter, I was a snitch. Something in that moment to my God-given identity was cracked. And from that moment on, I remember just struggling with always thinking my mama was going to die. I couldn't stay the night with people. My granny would try to take me to the beach. I had them drive me 8 hours back the same day they got there. I would get so hysterical thinking something bad was going to happen to her. But out of that situation and what happened, I remember saying a vow to myself. I vowed to never allow someone to make me feel that way again. And so out of that was the beginning of creating a monster.
Yes, you created your own identity from that point on.
And so under that molding, I was somewhat brought up by the music of our time. I was raised by 666 Mafia,
rap music,
Yo Gotti, and that was the
Lil
identity.
Boozy.
That was the identity that I wanted to get to. And I felt like that was what's going to keep me safe. So just to shorten it up a little bit, I spent many years trying to obtain that identity through selling crack, hustling. I moved to Knoxville. It was off and on, in and out of jail for multiple different charges. Every year of my life from 18 to 33, I did time in jail. It could have been from 30 days to 2 years. It was just in and out constantly. And so out of that, I remember December the 12th, it was 2007. And even then, God had his hand on me. I was saved Easter Sunday when I was 13, but even his sheep goes astray.
Yep.
And what I noticed looking back, I fully had to taste the world before I could fully take in that he tastes good, that he is good. And I had to empty myself. But on December the 12th in 2007, everything came to a crash landing. I was heading to Morristown from Knoxville. I had a half an ounce of crack on me, and a man was driving down the wrong side of the interstate. He was going 50, we was going 50, and I was hit head on. It was a 100-mile-an-hour impact.
Tell them how you dropped your son off right before.
Yep, it was a 100-mile-an-hour impact, but right before, 33 seconds, because my sister, powerful. After she seen the car later, a couple days later, she went and times it. My sister's supposed to be in Morristown. My son Malik should have rode all the way with me to Morristown. But out of nowhere, my sister calls me and says, "Hey, I'm sitting at this gas station.
Yep.
Do you want to drop Malik off?" So as soon as I pull, about to go past the gas station, I pull into the gas station and I drop him off. And my sister asks me, "Can you go in and get some Rolaids?" I was so worried about getting the crack off and getting to Morristown. I said, "No, I'm in a hurry. I got to go." So I hopped back in the car. It wasn't 33 seconds down the road that we got hit head on. My sister passed the car, and the front end and the back end had smushed in to a point in the middle where it hit so hard, with us, hitting head on. It was a 100-mile-an-hour impact. So after that, I had broken 24 bones. I was trapped in the car for 3 hours, lost just about half of my blood in the car, and I was up the whole time during it. And I broke my femur and my hip and a few other bones. But I remember that was the pivot of my addiction. Before then, I did things more on a party weekend type of things. I smoked weed since I was 14. I drank and I dabbled in cocaine.
Yeah.
But I remember waking up out of surgery and instantly knowing what I'm feeling right now is probably the best thing I've ever felt.
Yep.
Because it seemed like all them daddy issues floated away. It seemed like a mask that was given to me by this drug that was more powerful than any suppressant that I had before.
I always said that it felt like someone was just giving me a warm hug, like a blanket.
And it was a counterfeit.
Yes.
It was something but the enemy does not show you the backside of the billboard. Yep. He shows you all the flashing lights. And we just got to be cautious with doctors. I know the Lord can use doctors, but they told me in that hospital I would never walk again.
Yep.
That I would always be on pain pills just to manage daily life.
Yep.
And so it wrecked me, but then I knew that I had found my new best friend.
Yep.
So after that, the Florida pain clinics was going on in 2010. And before I knew it, I was taken to close to 10 to 15 Roxy 30s a day.
Yeah.
And so 8 years of that addiction. And I remember I finally broke and put a needle in my arm. And my tolerance had got so ridiculous on Opanas. And that's something I had never experienced, a chokehold.
Yeah.
But I believed that lie that the doctor told me.
Yeah.
That I will always have, this is just me now.
Yep.
And thank the Lord.
Yeah.
That he can speak into such gripped identity issues and to remind you who you really are and whose you really are. So after that, I was walking, but I was still struggling with my pain, with my lower back, and all these different issues, and I got on disability, it was somewhat the thing of my family to
Yeah.
get a check off the government.
Yeah.
That
The
was
spirit of poverty.
and to do whatever you needed to say, and I somewhat put even my children in that same position.
Yeah.
And so I remember I had went to Buffalo Valley 4 times. And to any of our viewers, this is what it looks like sometimes. And sometimes we get to a place of where it is life and death.
Yes.
And when I look back at my timeline, each time I went to Buffalo Valley, one time I went to Buffalo Valley, and then it was 8 years later before I went again. After that second time, it was boom, 6 months, went back again, 2 months, went back again. It got so drastically worse each time. I knew that last time I didn't have another runaround.
Well, it says in the Word of God that 7 or more will come back.
Each time. Clean up the house.
You clean up the house, and 7 more come back. And that was actually spoken over my life before I kept going back. When I gave my life to the Lord right when I got out of jail, someone spoke that over me and said, there's going to be 7 more if you go back. And it did. It got worse every time I stepped back out.
Each time. And that was my story too. So going to Buffalo Valley, going back out, white knuckling it, trying to do it my own way, and not include Christ on it. I'm looking for an answer instead of seeking truth.
Yes.
And I remember I was at a halfway house in Lebanon. I had put a application into Blue Monarch that I totally forgot about while I was at Buffalo Valley. And so they didn't have no beds open, so I went ahead and went to Lebanon to next step that you couldn't have your kids out, right? And so I remember just going through it down there, still struggling, being on gabapentin, being all right with taking these lower offensive drugs, and justifying it because of that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I withdrawed off gabapentin just as much as I withdrawed off the heroin.
And I didn't know that until I came off of them.
Yeah.
I know. I thought at one point in time that would be considered as mild, but it did me the same way.
Yeah.
So it was about 7 months in at Step Ahead, and I go to my granny's, and they're having a hard time with Malik and his behaviors. And Granny's 70-something.
Yep.
We had 5 generations living in one house at one point in time, and that's not a compliment. And Dad's in the living room. He's still struggling with his addiction. And I forgot a little bit of a piece. Me and him was also best friends in my addiction. The one that just scarred me as a child.
Yeah.
So he comes in one day, and he's like, hey, this place called Blue Monarch called. I thought it was a bill collector, so I told him you wasn't here. I said, give me that phone. So I called Blue Monarch, and it was Jenny. And right back then, they didn't have the transportation like they do now. So I was able to take a bus, me and Malik, to Blue Monarch. What was a 3-hour car drive ended up being a 21-hour bus ride.
Yeah.
We had to sleep over at the Knox County Greyhound, which I told Malik we was sightseeing. He was 9 at the time.
Yeah.
And we get to Blue Monarch on his birthday.
I love that.
2018. So we share, his birthday is my freedom date. And
that's so powerful if you think about that.
And it's kept me. When things get hard, I don't ever want to lose that.
Pastor Kevin, which is an amazing pastor for the people that are watching, the sermon that brought me back was, remember the times he showed up. And those times just like that, when it's God.
Yes.
Has kept me,
And it's them moments, it's like love letters from behind the veil. Like he sends people, and he does things, and he sets up these things for it to fall like dominoes in your favor.
Yeah.
And I just remembering the wooing of the Lord. It was by his kindness that brought me to repentance, not his wrath.
No.
And so when I got to Blue Monarch, that was a huge part.
Yes, he led me to a place of repentance.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a stuffing down. It was a leading, a wooing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's beautiful
It's
kindness,
beautiful.
you know. And so whenever I got there, it was a struggle.
Yeah.
You know, I tell the founder and my co-workers there a lot of times, I thought about hot wiring the vans. I was so bad off.
Yeah, I tried to escape a couple times, and then I said, they sit on 108 acres, but including the acres that are around them. I said, where am I going to go to another farm?
Right. I'm like, ain't nobody coming to get you. But here's the thing: we wouldn't have to escape. We could walk off.
Yeah.
It ain't like there's. But I'm sitting there planning on hot wiring
the car.
That was my criminal thinking.
Criminal thinking. She doesn't think like that no more.
Yes, praise the Lord, because I've been delivered by renewing my mind.
Yes.
And by the cognitive therapy that they provide there, and just
RDAP.
all the hard work
Yep.
that they put in. Like
Yeah.
the staff, if they witness one of us walking in freedom, that's their dreams come true.
Yeah. Amen.
And that's their hearts. And that's my heart. And
that's my heart.
And that's Kayla's heart.
Yeah. Okay. Same question for you. Tell the viewers what you would say to them in a place if they were in your shoes.
I just remember being in such a desperate place of hopelessness.
Yes.
But in the place of hopelessness, it is a prime time of desperation for a full turn.
Yeah.
If I could tell anyone and recommend you to do anything, is cry out to the Lord. Every time that I've had a genuine cry out to the Lord, He showed up the next day.
Yep.
The day that
Your
Blue Monarch called,
cry.
yes, a heart's cry.
A heart cry.
Not a
manipulation cry. Yes.
Because
it was from your heart.
I'm like, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
I'm at the end of myself. I remember saying to myself, Lord, either you provide me a way or I'm going to blow my brains out.
Yep.
I was so ate up by thoughts of condemnation that I was a piece of crap of a mama. How did you get to here? You can't. I would look at my kids at night and bawl because I knew I couldn't stop using for them. I was like, what am I going to do? But I believe there's purpose in that hopelessness that God can still use, especially with you having a flicker still left. And if you cry out to Him, I know that He's going to show up. He's a good Father. There's no way He's going to turn from that desperation and that hunger of help.
Yes.
And He is our helper.
He is our helper. And I think the Lord is supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Like this world is not ours. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like He is of spirit. So the walk with Jesus is probably the coolest walk that you can ever be on.
Yes. And one thing I struggled with when I got to Blue Monarch was thinking, how in the world does people have fun without getting high or drunk? Yeah. And that somewhat, for a while, I struggled with wrestling with that.
Well, it was like something you had to kill. I went through that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how am I going to have fun?
But let me tell you, you cannot fully experience joy without fully experience life sober.
And the love of Jesus.
Right. All this, like with a sober mind, I can fully take in things that are joyful.
Yes, like you can really create in-depth friendships and relationships that feed you and that you're able to feed back.
Yep. Pour out. Yep.
Going to the end of the podcast, which I know it was short and sweet, and we have some things that are coming ahead that we'll tell the viewers about. But Tasha, tell them what you're doing now. What you got going on now?
So just a little bit off my testimony. You know, at one point in time, I was crippled. receiving disability.
Mm-hmm.
I fully came off all my medication, come off a disability. I started working in the granola kitchen
Yes.
at Blue Monarch, and I made my way up to the manager in the kitchen, and now I'm the director of residential life.
Yeah.
I'm also the fun agent, the agent of fun.
Yes, she is.
I do recovery fun because there is a need
It's
for
so much fun.
fun in recovery.
We did a whole theatrical, what was it that we did?
What, the play or
We
the
did a whole
scavenger hunt?
play. Yes, it was so much fun. I was the star.
She is the star.
Yeah.
You know,
It was so much fun.
but I also have been blessed to be certified as a mental health coach and a youth mental health coach.
Yes.
And I went to Word of Life Bible Institute.
Yes, you did.
And
I remember that.
And that was one of the greatest things that I accomplished because I didn't think I could accomplish something like that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
So what about you, Caleb?
I got a few things going on. People think I'm crazy, but I've been in college. I started college right when I graduated Blue Monarch. I have about 5 classes left until I have my associate's degree in social work. I am in a program called LADAC, which is a recovery program for it's a counseling recovery program. So I would be a licensed counselor. I'm also married to the director of a program called R3. I met my husband at church, and we just had a baby, and we have our family going on. So that's a big thing because the first ministry is your family.
Yes.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
I also do jail ministry with Jeannie Campbell. If you don't know her, you should. Who is Jeannie?
Jenny is one of my closest friends and
Yes.
sisters. She is the program director
Yes.
at Blue Monarch, but she is also a woman that has been tried by many situations and has
Been so faithful.
So faithful.
Yep.
And you can't argue with that.
No, you can't. She has taught me so much. I call her my spiritual mom because that's just what she is, but she has taught me everything I know. I sit at her feet. I even catch myself like ministering to someone, and I walk away and I'm like, that sounded just like Jenny.
And you know, that makes you feel good.
Yeah. I texted her the other day and I was like, you have no idea how grateful I am that I'm able to minister just the way that she does. But and every woman at Blue Monarch is absolutely amazing. Shout out to Miss Trisha and Deanna and Megan and Miss Kate. She don't really work there no more. I'm really close to Miss Kate and Lauren and
Heather,
Tasha
Shakia,
and Heather and
Ashlyn,
Shakia
Tay.
and Ashlyn and Courtnisha and all the women at Blue Monarch and also all the other recovery programs. Man, shout out to Miriam House, shout out to Be the Bush, shout out to R3, shout out to all the programs around Mosaic, Doors of Hope, Mary Dale Williams. You have been just a pioneer in my life. All the judges and court systems that just had our back. Shout out to all of them. Y'all are so special. And we're able, so the word says we are one body. We are one body. So we all operate in this together. There is not a denomination that doesn't serve Jesus better than the others.
Right.
I always tell girls in the jail, we are not gangs. We are not gangs. I ain't trying to beat you in no ganging around here. We are one body, and that's what I love about recovery too is we understand that on a deeper level. I feel like you know, like it's not like you over here and you over here. We're like, no, we need everybody to come together.
Yes, and that's why it's so important that we share the gift that we've been given of this understanding. Would you like to tell them about next week's podcast?
So me and Tasha are doing a deep dive. We have been studying. We have been talking. She has given questionnaires out. And our next podcast, drum roll, it's going to be about healthy dating and healthy relationships through Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's so important that we take a huge look at this.
Yes, because most people, how do they relapse, Tasha?
It is through
Relationships.
relationships. It does not start with a needle in your arm.
Nope.
It does not start with you buying a bottle from the store 99.9% of the time. It is through getting in a relationship that could start off good.
Yes. So we just want to apply biblical scriptures in
Mhm.
discernment.
Mhm.
How you can walk through that season, because dating is fun.
Yep.
But how can we do it with the boundaries that the Lord has provided? And I'm married and you're dating.
Mhm.
So, and we're asking a lot of the people in our circle, and we're going to be able just to come to the table and dig deep
Mhm.
and look through the eyes of recovered women.
Yes, and that's so important. It is the counsel that we need because
Godly counsel.
we got blinders
Yes, and yes.
and emotions
And we're gonna
tagged
talk
onto
about
it.
that.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
If this has encouraged you, why don't you go ahead and like, share, and comment below? We would really appreciate that. There's other people that need to hear this and these testimonies just as bad as you did. We thank you, and most importantly, we love you.
Love you.